Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Sara Shazad. Welcome to CxO TV, where innovation meets ideas for growth via our knowledge sharing platform, CxO Global Forum. Joining us today, Mr. Fakhir Fazil, co founder and CEO of Hyper Technologies. Good evening, Fakhir Saab. How are you today?
Good evening, sir. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. First of all, welcome to our show that you are part of CXO Global Forum. Uh, let's start with your professional journey of 15 years in tech business. What made you choose this industry?
Quite honestly, I didn't choose this profession. I landed here like a lot of other folks who don't have a choice where to land, and who don't have the choice to go into a specific profession. But I was lucky enough to be directed to the right path and something that I would love to do, and that I realized in a couple of years' time. And since then, there was no looking back. So I
Okay.
would call myself sheer lucky other than anything else. As far as landing into the profession is concerned, but climbing up the ladder and starting my own company after having a 12 years of experience behind my back, that is something that took a toll on anybody, of course, when you have to, perform and learn and grow. And Alhamdulillah, Allah has been kind. I would give him the highest grade, of course. Without him, nothing can move. So this is
Background, your studies were the same,
I
IT?
had, all right. Actually, I had given this background in my previous interview with CXO. That was a couple of months ago, so I thought we'll move forward with the
So
story.
actually, we got new viewers and new
Oh,
members.
all right. Sure, sure,
So
sure, sure.
we
I'd be
need
more
to
than glad.
just run with the just a brief overview so we
Absolutely,
can just
absolutely. I would be more than glad to
thank
say
you.
that. As far as academics were concerned, I was never a very bright student, to be very honest. And whatever I had learned through experiential learning. I unfortunately could not complete my college, and so I had to join a firm at a very early stage. And luckily, those were the days where those master's degrees and those PhDs and a lot of other degrees wouldn't matter that much that they do today. So basically, I just landed into the industry when I was only 22 years old, and I had served the industry, corporate industry. I initially joined IBL. IBL was at that time the biggest distributor in the whole of Asia for FMCG. I used to be a very small component in IT, and then moved on with one of the leading service providers, and then I stayed there for good 10 years. And those were the years where I learned a lot, and I excelled a lot. And then finally realized that it's time to start my own thing and become an entrepreneur. And Alhamdulillah, Allah has been kind. It's been almost 7 years that hybrid technologies is continuing to grow. And as far as human resources concerned, as far as revenues are concerned, as far as our affiliations are concerned. So Alhamdulillah, I cannot be thankful enough for what I have achieved.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So, Mr. Parker, what was the motivation behind setting up hybrid technologies?
Well, quite frankly, I would call is that when I used to work for my previous employers, they were one of the finest companies in the market at that time. But still, I would always find areas which needed improvement. But of course, working in the middle management, I couldn't, I could only suggest, but could not, implement a lot of things which can improve the overall customer service experience for our customers. And
Exactly. True.
so I thought of, so I sort of, I would rather say, I sort of got, curious to. This is what led me to start my own thing and see how it goes if I could improve the customer service experience, and that was just fine. We did those changes as soon as I started hybrid technologies. We made those changes and we improved customer relationships and services, and that proved to be something, that was a gut feeling before, right? When I practically implemented it, I went down to find out that it works. Customer is always looking for better services.
Exactly. That's very right. And there's always a gap which you need to fill.
Absolutely.
You have
Yeah.
to come up with new
So
solutions.
yeah, through courtesy this platform, CxO. First of all, I'm very privileged to be a part of this platform, and I feel that
Right.
I get inspired by a lot of peers on this platform, and especially Kamal Bhai. He's somebody I get very inspired from. So basically, through this courtesy this platform and courtesy this interview, I would like to tell you that currently we are giving cascading services for the whole data center and infrastructure part. And what we used to do as hybrid technologies was something that we had practiced in our professional careers and something we knew inside out. For the last 2 years, we have been working on a different platform. That's another startup that Hybrid is going to launch on New Year, that is 2022, and that is called Digi3 Global.
Okay.
Just sharing with you on a higher level, we are going to work on different technologies now, not only infrastructure, but we had felt that the world is going to the software defined machine learning, artificial intelligence, applications, and things that can boost their productivity and things that can make a change. So we have been silently working on this project. I can only brief this much, and a lot has to be kept confidential for now, and will be revealed inshallah in the first quarter of 2022.
Absolutely, inshallah. We wish you all the good luck with the upcomings you're in the market or whatever you're bringing in the market for the betterment of the
Thank you.
product. So, what are the specialized products of hybrid technology?
Well, it's basically the complete.
What the offerings are?
Sorry.
What is the offering? What are you offering basically?
Basically, it's a complete infrastructure solution, IT infrastructure solution. So you can, in very layman terms, if somebody is listening and would want to understand, we provide a complete data center solution,
Okay.
starting from the very facility and going to the racks, to the servers, to the virtualization, to the complete infrastructure for your applications and your databases and all. So basically, that includes servers, storage, networks, security, physical security, as well as the network security and the networking part and everything. So this is what we do at Hybrid Technologies.
So when you
To
talk
just
about physical security, what
sorry.
lands in that part? When you talk about physical security, what lands in that part?
The physical security means the control access systems, and the surveillance, basically.
All
That is
right.
the physical security, and the network security being the data on the network.
All right. Okay. So, what are the challenges you face as a techpreneur?
Uh, Quite frankly, uh, so far what we see is that you know there's not much difficulty, to be very honest, because infrastructure is something that is a requirement for everybody, and
Exactly.
that is something because because over the years there's been a change, and what basically pushed us to create the new venture that I just discussed with you basically is that people are more keen towards the application and the outcome. They are not
True.
so much concerned anymore about the infrastructure part. That is important. That will always remain important. But the most important part is the data, the artificial intelligence, the dashboards. They would want to see reports. They would want to see, what's coming up ahead. They would want to have predictive analysis to see what's going on,
True.
and things that can improve their business processes. Hardware is just a middleware. But that is something we had to start with because that is something that we knew in and out, right? So,
True. True.
so this is a startup that I'm very excited about, and the most important part, by the way, of that startup is going to be the Internet of Things. We are going to set up IoT. We have
Okay.
formally signed up with the brands, relevant brands, and we have done the homework. The team is currently in the training. Once they do it, before we go live, they have deadlines. So we'll come in IoT as well.
All right. So, what industries you are covering at the moment?
It's pretty much every industry. It's public sector as well. It's financial institutions, including banks, mutabas, asset management companies, manufacturing, anybody. We don't limit ourselves to any specific industry or a segment. We are open to everybody. We have already worked in the last almost 7 years journey. We have already worked with almost every segment customer, and a lot of them, of course.
So where are your outlets based?
We're
It's
based in Karachi.
okay.
Yes. Yeah, we cater services to the entire Pakistan, and our three major offices are in Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad. Karachi being the head office, of course.
Okay. So your teams are sitting here and
Yes, yes.
working
We
in
have,
different departments.
yes, yes.
So how has COVID affected your business? Has it?
Uh, yes, please, please, please. Complete your question. I think you were saying something.
No, no, no. Just
All right, all right.
the question. Yeah.
Quite frankly, whatever happened during COVID, it was pretty devastating at start. But the good part is that a lot of small and medium businesses, they had to stop their investments, and but luckily we were saved by a lot of public sector projects and a lot of large enterprises who never stopped continuing with their projects and with their growth, because they knew it was going to be something that is going to probably last for a year or two, but the business processes and the growth has to continue. So to be very honest, it didn't. And I hear a lot of news from different industry and even our peers. But to be honest, we kept on going. Alhamdulillah. So we have nothing to curse as far as the business is concerned.
It's the IT industry because I think कि ये सबसे कम affect हुई है IT industry
Agreed. Agreed.
COVID के
I agree.
like still we have that thing is there, but
Yes.
this industry because mainly it's online and many things are available
Yes.
on your devices, so
In
it's
fact, in
the
fact,
less.
Sarah, in fact, Sarah, I would like to add that during the COVID times, the world was more dependent on technology than ever. You see,
Exactly.
the restaurants had to shut down, but their survival was through applications and vendors like Foodpanda, right?
Hmm.
For instance, and इसी तरह से I think कि टेक्नोलॉजी पे लोग इतने डिपेंड कभी नहीं किया लोगों ने जितना डिपेंड उस पर किया एंड एज फार एज टेक्नोलॉजी बिजनेस एंड द फ्यूचर ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी बिजनेस इज कंसर्न आई थिंक उसके बाद तो इम्प्रूवमेंट आना शुरू हुई है फर्दर वी हैव सीन
Exactly.
कि उसके बाद तो लोगों ने सिक्योरिटीज़ पे इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू कर दिया है लोगों ने अपने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स पे को और बेहतर करने पे व्हाट इफ खुदा ना खास्ता व्हाट इफ there comes a time कि दोबारा एक साल दो साल के लिए we face a similar situation. What then? So people are gearing
Exactly.
themselves up because as a lot of predators have said that we might come across Allah na correct, but we might come across such situations pretty often from now. So
True.
technology is the need of the time.
Yeah, but as you can see, because you are in this business, that mainly the bigger, larger industries, they have the need of this kind of higher end solutions and all that. But the smaller industries or uh, small businesses, they never realized before COVID that how
Exactly.
technology is important. So I think कि अब वो लोग भी जो हैं वो इस चीज की तरफ आए हैं इस
बिल्कुल.
time period में, and they actually got to know what is the need of that. This is a related. I would like to ask you something else that the CIO today is a business manager who uses tech to manage business. So can you please elaborate the vision for our viewers?
I'm sorry, I missed a little part of the question. Please
See,
repeat
the
that again.
CIO of any CIO working in any industry manages everything. पहले ये होता था कि टेक्नोलॉजी को एक बैक एंड सिस्टम समझा जाता था, बट कोविड आया, ये पैंडेमिक का ये सब कुछ हुआ और उसके बाद जो है इट हैज बिकम द मेन नीड. एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द रेवेन्यू पर्सपेक्टिव, तो उसमें भी टेक्नोलॉजी का एक बहुत मेन जो है वो एक एलिमेंट है. So
बिल्कुल.
what do you think that how CIO is managing now all of it? How he is managing sales, how he is managing technology and everything? Can you just elaborate a bit about it?
I think CIOs mostly the CIOs understand the need of technology within their company because they are the stakeholders of technology, right? And
True.
technology is something, unfortunately, that has always before it's just changed a couple of years ago, but it has always been considered as an expense rather than an investment or rather than
Exactly.
to
That's
lead
what
projects.
my point was actually.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So we meet CIOs, of course, and we discuss with them. So a lot has been changing because you see, with all due respect, I mean, the boards that they report to usually are people, mostly the people who have been working on the papers, right? Who don't have access who don't know IT inside out as much as they do. And I really don't blame them because, of course, we belong to the tech industry, right? And we know what it can do, for, the wonders it can do. But if somebody, I think it's a joint role for every one of us and even the CIOs to educate, the decision makers and put their case in a way that it, because as a businessman for everybody including myself, I would always look at the outcome. If I'm investing something, I would
exactly.
definitely look out for the. I wouldn't look at the chart. I wouldn't be inspired by acquiring technology that's a big brand name in the world. Because if somebody is using it in the world, I wouldn't be inspired. I would only be aspired if I can make something out of it because that is my role as a
True.
businessman. So
Yeah, but
I think
suppose more tech related and that top guy, you have to give awareness to him and
exactly,
make him understand what's the need behind it.
exactly.
बट ही
And what
क्या हो
and
सकता है
then
अगर ये नहीं हम करेंगे तो क्या उसके
exactly.
आउटकम हो सकते हैं, सो
Exactly,
ये भी
and
एक
they should
प्रोसेस
build.
है.
Yes, I think they should. I think the CIOs should be trained or maybe learn them by themselves, or if they can get a training about how to pitch the any new investment in the IT. And
Exactly.
there's a lot of improvement in the last. Sorry, there's a
Yeah,
lot of improvement in the last 5 years on this, but there's still room for improvement, which there always is. So I
yeah,
see, there should be platforms where the need of technology should be educated to the boards, so that
true.
that adoption rate can grow significantly, which our country also requires. As a nation, we also need to
Yes,
grow. A lot of industries also need to think
very
out of the
right.
box, not only with the businesses that they have. It's rather unfortunate that only few, very few, just you may be, you may hardly find any setups that are global. Those industries from Pakistan who represent Pakistan globally. There's hardly any, and the possibilities are there. So basically, we are following the footholds, but we need to, shift a gear or two and maybe pick up the pace and grow, ourselves faster than what is on the cards right now.
True, true that. So, Mr. Fakhir, how is tech sales challenging versus other industry sales?
Well, I personally call it as compared to, because since I am learning a thing or two as far as my uh, with the new setup and all, with the new startup and all. So I think it's the customer already knows. Customer has been educated so much that he already knows what he wants. So the need, you don't really need to, most of the time you don't really need to justify what you're trying to sell, right? So it's mostly about the customer services and price. I, I have witnessed so many companies in my career, so that I know so much that probably it's not that difficult for me. Maybe my team, somebody from my team can better shed light on this. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't find it very difficult to sell as far as tech industry is
Okay.
concerned. I do
Maybe
not
these
have,
are the times.
yeah. Sorry.
Maybe these are the times because it always used to say that IT IT sale is a hard sale.
Yes, it's exactly. See, it once upon a time used to be. Now nobody can function without a laptop. Nobody can function without internet. Nobody can function without having Zoom or any other software on their notebooks, because most of the time we would do virtual meetings. The culture that
True.
COVID has given us. You see, Zoom was probably one of those companies that made the most out of COVID, right? And
Yeah.
the stats tell us the story. So you see, the significance and the importance of IT is growing every day. So I think it's a no-brainer anymore. Some
True. True.
advanced technology decisions are something that we need to work harder on. But as far as these commodities are concerned, they have become commodities, right? To be very honest,
Yeah.
in the present era. So
True.
that's not pretty much difficult. That's pretty easy sell.
Now you can't even shop if even if it's about garments even you can't shop without IT. You have to
Exactly.
do online shopping.
Exactly.
You have to, I mean, the basic things. IT is involved
Yeah.
in basic things now.
Exactly, exactly.
You really need.
E-commerce was already evolving. E-commerce in countries like Pakistan, in the world, it has been like that for decades now.
Exactly. It
As
was
far as
there.
Pakistan is concerned, the trend is growing every day, and especially the COVID episode that helped people learn a lot, and a lot of people still, I think, buy from the e-commerce, from the webs, and stuff. So I think there's huge
Exactly.
potential.
Exactly. Exactly. Very right. So, Fakhir Saab, what is your message for startups in similar business?
Usually, whenever a friend comes up to me or anybody that I know comes up to me for an advice, I always tell them, give it a shot. To be very honest, because I could not have achieved what I had by the grace of Allah, alhamdulillah, if I had not tried. Because I also came from a background where trying was too much of a risk. So I would encourage people to be calculated, of course, but give it a try whenever they can, because otherwise they wouldn't know. This is a simple piece of advice, a general piece of advice. Whatever industry it is, whatever age group they are, at least give it a try and give it a hard shot. You may just achieve something that you probably may not
Exactly.
otherwise.
Exactly, exactly, because there are ups and downs in every business. And in the
Absolutely,
start, I think these type of things happen. So don't be
absolutely.
heartbroken and just keep
Exactly.
getting forward.
Exactly. A
So
failure
yeah,
or two might not end your life, might not end your
exactly,
financial career, your career or your financials. But if you
true,
give it a try, the world on this side of the, on this side, the world is very beautiful. It's very amazing. The feeling, all the hard work, all the sweat. Yeah,
true, true, true. And everybody has a share in the market. They have to.
absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
True, true. So, Mr. Parker, lastly, what utility you see being a member of CXO Global Forum?
Well, as I mentioned, it has CXO is a fantastic platform. From the day I had joined it, I get inspired by a lot of peers, and thank you to Kamal Bhai and the team. They took the initiative, a very different initiative where there was nobody else to connect all of us. We learn a lot, we network a lot, and it helps with business also.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Parker, thank you very much for your valuable time, and we will keep inviting you in our forum, and hope to see you again, inshallah.